Hey guys, welcome to Spirits and Screams. I'm your host Karen, and tonight on the show, I'm going to take a look at 5 films on Shudder that I think you gotta check out this weekend. Now let's get started on our journey into the dark side of the paranormal.
Welcome to Spirits and Screams.
First up, we have an incredibly creepy Korean horror called Metamorphosis from 2019. When a troubled family moves into a new house because their pastor uncle was accused of unaliving a child, things do not add up from the very beginning. The family members do not know that the face-changing devil, whom their uncle tried to expel from the child's body, has sworn to destroy the pastor's family at any cost. Directed by Kim Hong-seon. This film is possession practical effects fun. And they mix in some CGI too, but you know what? They're so good at it. There were moments of terror that when you finally thought it was over and you could breathe a little, something else happened that was even more creepy, and it just sent chills up my shins. Do you know that feeling? That's fun. There was this one scene with a sledgehammer. Oh my God. If you know, you know. So the story follows this pastor who has an extended family nearby, and the pastor is the uncle involved with the family. He actually is involved in an exorcism and it goes wrong, and they kind of blame him for unaliving the child that was possessed. So the exorcism was a fail, and there ends up being this face-changing, horrible demon that's kind of terrorizing all of them, and it's so creepy. And because the exorcism happened in the first place, the demon's mad. So he vows he's going to destroy the pastor's family at any cost. So the family begins to notice strange occurrences. They hear noises, they're seeing things, and it seems a little out of the ordinary. They're also experiencing this doppelganger effect where some of the family members are appearing in 2 places at the same time, and a family member kind of seems possessed and starts attacking another, but then they appear in a different room and they're totally oblivious to what's going on. So it's causing all of this like fear and confusion and mistrust amongst all of the family members. Oh my God, it's such a clever way to portray this. And eventually they call on Uncle for help because they don't know who else to turn to. But he's headed the next day overseas because he just wants to get away from everything. He doesn't want to deal with it ever since what had happened before. But he has a change of heart and he goes to help them, thankfully. But things get very dark before they get better, and it's not a super happy ending either. This film blew my socks off. I watched it the other day randomly, and man, I just really loved it. The acting's good. The practical effects are over the top good. It's just exciting and thrilling, and you don't want to stop watching right to the end. I enjoyed it, and I really highly recommend that you check it out. Metamorphosis from 2019, and it's on Shudder. Next up, we have an Australian atmospheric heavy metal horror film called The Devil's Candy from 2015. A struggling painter is possessed by dark forces after he and his young family move into their dream home in rural Texas. In this creepy haunted house tale, directed by Sean Byrne. This film is a heavy metal infused horror, and it's about Jesse, this kind of struggling artist who moves his family into a Texas ranch, and things get very strange. The place has a dark past, and Jesse becomes possessed by a malevolent force, and it kind of comes out in his paintings. I absolutely identify with this one because I am an artist trained, and I love the idea of big canvases and expressionistic kind of painting, and there's a lot of that in this film. And as all of this painting is going on, the deranged former owner of the place shows up and he's targeted their young daughter. So the old owner is called Ray, and he's drawn back to this childhood place for some reason. And he was in the past, he unalived kids. And so it's very, very tense and very scary. And all these weird things are starting to happen to Jesse. He's painting these strange images and things are kind of coming out. Very, very creepy. The images that he's painting end up becoming a tool for figuring out what happened in the past. And the whole thing ends up being this triumph over evil through family love. This one's such a great film, and my friend Mayanne, shout out to Mayanne. She is the one that recommended that I check it out, and I really am glad I did because I loved it. The visuals are absolutely stunning. It's super creepy and really scary, but stunning, and it's just such a fun watch. I highly, highly recommend that you check it out. Next up, we have a film that takes a look at the occult and the demonic, and this one's called Anything for Jackson from 2020. A bereaved Satanist couple kidnap a pregnant woman so they can use an ancient spell book to put their dead grandson's spirit into her unborn child, but end up summoning more than they bargained for. Directed by Justin Dick. This film is praised for blending gruesome occult horror with suburban comedy. The casting of Julian Richings and Sheila McCarthy is brilliant, so amazing. They're such a good couple together, and they play the grieving grandparents. They've recently lost their grandson that they loved very much, and they're using this reverse exorcism to try to bring him back. It's really twisted and crazy. It is very dark, but it's kind of quirky at the same time, if that makes any sense. The ending is left open-ended, so that might not be for some people, but I loved it. You're not sure whether they brought back a demon or whether they actually did bring back the grandson. You're not really sure. I loved this watch. I definitely recommend that you check it out. It's a creepy concept, but one that makes you think. What would you do under these circumstances? Next up, we have another creepy horror film called The Dark and the Wicked from 2020. It follows two siblings who encounter a demonic entity at their Texas family farm after the unaliving of their mother, who had long been caring for their infirm father. Directed by Brian Bertino. This film is a bleak supernatural horror film that follows Luis and Michael, two siblings that end up going back to their father's home, their childhood home, a farm in Texas, where they're watching their father slowly pass away. They soon discover a malevolent demonic entity that's tormenting the mother, who's been taking care of the father. There's bad things happen. There's unaliving. There's possession and bumps in the night, all that kind of good stuff. The family goes through this psychological unraveling as the demonic entity kind of destroys their life, and it's this battle against evil, a losing battle against evil. I loved this one, and I recommend that you check it out. It's definitely a sad story with, elderly parents and caring for them, but there's kind of a very haunting twist, so it's pretty cool. Next up, we have a supernatural horror film called The Vigil from 2019. A man providing overnight watch to a deceased member of his former Orthodox Jewish community finds himself opposite a malevolent entity in writer-director Keith Thomas' electrifying feature debut. This film centers on Yaakov, a young man with a traumatic past. He's leaving his insular Hasidic community in Brooklyn. Desperate for money, he reluctantly accepts an overnight job as a shomer. His job is to watch over this recently deceased Holocaust victim. It's in this really old, dark, creepy two-story house. It's such an amazing setting. Yaakov ends up being hunted by this malicious spirit named Mazik that sort of feeds on trauma and dark history. This one's super creepy, and I really recommend that you check it out. And this poor guy is stuck alone at night with this body, because that's how they do things, right? And oh my god, it's so creepy. I don't think I could ever do that, ever. The setting is just so atmospheric, and it's this really confined space that's claustrophobic. Oh, it's so good. Well, this was super fun to put together for you guys. They're all on Shudder, so definitely check them out. It'd be a fun marathon weekend to watch them all. I recommend it. Let me know what you think and give your recommendations of more stuff that I should check out. Drop your long comments down below. Let's chat. And if you like this video, don't forget to give me a like because it helps me out a lot, and subscribe to the channel for more recommendation videos like this one. There's more coming. And more deep dives, more of those coming too, and more surprises. Can't wait to show you guys stuff. Yeah, I'd love to have you here as part of the community. I love you all, and remember, when you're watching horror movies, don't forget to scream responsibly. Have a really good night, you guys.